Good morning, students. Welcome to the class. We are discussing photochemistry. Today, we will discuss two important concepts, photosensitization and chemiluminescence. What is photosensitization? Sensitization. In many photochemical reactions, the reacting substance does not absorb radiation directly, but acquires the energy from some other light absorbing substance known as a sensitizer. The reaction in which a photosensitizer is used is known as a photosensitized reactions. See, generally, when we pass light onto a molecule, it absorbs energy. Say, for example, if it is a sensitizer, which is represented by S naught, then what will happen? It absorbs energy and it will jump to excited state. It will be excited to excited state, singlet excited state. Then if this molecule is having a triplet state, triplet excited state, then this will come back to triplet excited state, right? This is a common thing for any molecule which can absorb light, right? So a molecule, when it absorbs energy for light radiation, then it excites from singlet ground state to singlet excited state. Then if there is a relatively stable triplet excited state, with loss of some energy, it will come to triplet excited state. Generally, molecules which are supposed to undergo chemical reactions in the presence of light, they will generate radicals, or they will undergo chemical reactions when the electron is in triplet excited state. When the electron is in triplet excited state. So for any molecule which needs to be converted under photochemical conditions, it must absorb energy and it must excite to the triplet excited state. Right. So whenever we want to do a photochemical reaction, the reactants must absorb radiation, then they need to excite to triplet excited state. This is fine. If molecule can, if the molecule can absorb light radiation, then it will undergo photochemical reaction. It is fine. But what if the molecule does not absorb energy? If the molecule does not absorb light energy, if this is not possible, the molecule does not absorb radiation. This is the reactant. And if the molecule does not absorb radiation, then it will not undergo any photochemical reactions. But we want to do photochemical reaction on the reactant, but but on its own it does not absorb radiation. Then we can go for photosensitization. That means we will add a sensitizer which absorbs the radiation and will be excited to triplet excited state. If the molecule possesses a relatively a triplet state with similar energy to the sensitizer, but it should be little lesser energy. See, this is higher energy, this is lower energy. The molecule must possess a triplet excited state whose energy is comparable to the triplet excited state of the sensitizer. Then what happens? Energy will be transferred from the triplet excited state to the triplet excited state of the sensitizer to the triplet excited state of the molecule, that means reactant. Now this reactant is directly generating the triplet excited state. So this is the beauty of photosensitized reactions. So generally a sensitizer is used to generate the triplet excited state of a reactant directly. Okay, here the molecule does not absorb, so excitation from ground state to excited state, then to triplet excited state, it is not possible for the reactant. But still we want to do a photochemical reaction with this reactant. Then what we can do, we can use a sensitizer along with the reactant. So sensitizer absorbs energy, then it will be excited to singlet excited state, then from there it can be transferred to triplet excited state. If the reactant possesses a triplet excited state whose energy is little lower or similar in energy to the triplet excited state of the sensitizer, then molecule transfers its energy to the from sensitizer to the reactant, so that reactant directly generates the triplet excited state. This is what is called a photosensitized reaction. So, in order to produce the triplet excited state of a reactant directly, it must follow the triplet excited state of the sensitizer must be higher in energy than the triplet excited state of the reactant, so that the energy available is enough to raise the reactant molecule to its triplet excited state. This we have already explained in terms of the diagram. The triplet excited state of the reactant is lower in energy than the triplet excited state of the sensitizer. Then only energy can be easily transferred from the triplet excited state of the sensitizer to the triplet excited state of the reactant. Okay, so this is what that condition. And now we will discuss some examples. Generally, mercury, cadmium, and zinc metals, they are used as sensitizers in reactions, particularly in organic reactions where most of the reactants may not absorb radiation directly. We use benzophenone as the sensitizer. Benzophenone as the sensitizer. Benzophenone radical is very stable, so it can be easily generated. So that is why generally in most of the photochemical reactions where the reactants may not absorb energy or may not absorb radiation, benzophenone is used as the photosensitizer. The best example for a photosensitized reaction is the photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is conversion of carbon dioxide and water in presence of light into carbohydrates and oxygen. So here we can go for like this. This reaction, it will occur only in the green pigment, which is called chlorophyll. Without chlorophyll, this photosynthesis reaction will not work. So this is the best example where chlorophyll acts as a photosensitizer, and it will convert carbon dioxide and water into useful products, carbohydrates, nothing but our food materials. What is chemiluminescence? Luminescence means production of light by any means other than heating, okay, which is also called as cold light. Chemiluminescence means production of light in a chemical reaction. The phenomena of production of light by a chemical reaction So production of light in a chemical reaction is known as chemiluminescence. This is because the product formed in a chemiluminescent reaction is in the electronically excited state, which emits radiation in the visible region. So the reason for chemiluminescence is the products generated in the reaction are in the electronically excited state. When the molecule is in excited state, it will come back to the ground state by releasing energy, right? So that released energy is what is called chemiluminescence. We will discuss some examples for chemiluminescence. Meanwhile, you can take the notes along with me. The glow of phosphorus and its oxides. When phosphorus and its oxides are burning, they release very bright colors. So this is an example for chemiluminescence. Oxidation reduction reactions oxidation reduction reactions of hydrogen. These are also examples for chemiluminescence reaction. So if they will release bright colors. Reaction between alkaline H2O2 and Cl2, which emits a red light. This is another example for chemiluminescence. And the most important example for chemiluminescence is the bioluminescence. You all might have seen glowworms. WORMS. We all have seen glowworms, right? In the night time, they used to release light. Minuguru purugulu antam kada. Glowworms is an example for bioluminescence. Glowworms release light due to a bioreaction involved in its body. The reaction is oxidation of luciferin by atmospheric oxygen in the presence of an enzyme catalyst luciferase. So oxidation of luciferin in the biosystem of glowworm with an enzyme luciferase releases light. This is what is called bioluminescence.